the following presentation of the National Football League. Please welcome your 2026 San Francisco 49ers.
About set to begin another week of football, and happy to have you along. We are underway on Thursday night prime time. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yards with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100 plus the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
Up second and 5 at the 28-yard line.
And off to Gibbs, headed right here. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
He's brought down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Gibbs will try and pick it up. And some room to work. He may go. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him now in his first 2 carries of the ballgame. A stop there on 3rd. They could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to bow their necks on 1st and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there. And I'd go right at him with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack them, because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop him on 3rd down.
And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he'll just get rid of it.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
So 3rd and goal, and the 49er faithful making some noise for their defense. They'll look to throw. Middle of the field to Jefferson. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
A 22-yard attempt.
Koo knocks this one through the post. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Ooh, the juke. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by a longtime starter in the NFL, a former #1 overall pick way back in 2009. It's Matthew Stafford.
And Matthew Stafford was taken first overall in the 2009 draft, and he certainly played like a top pick. Throughout his career, he's been one of the most prolific passers in the league, and there's no reason to believe he's going to slow down his production anytime soon. Not only that, he's also one of the tougher quarterbacks in the league as well.
Now Tomlinson on 1st and 2. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
That's caught left side by Neighbors. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
That's a 3rd down conversion to 24 yards there. Nice play.
And the 49er first down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Here's 2nd and 10. A give up the middle to Tomlinson. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Now Stafford. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that 1st down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will tie us at 3-3. So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Go a little tennis on me,
I know you. You like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back out and they get a backhand. What was the serve? What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I like that.
A really good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole
little
thing.
bit.
I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. 2nd drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 85 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that would look like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 16 more on that one and another first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here we go on 2nd and 12. Going underneath. Gibbs has it. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31. Defensively rallying to the ball after the nice move. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And it's 3rd and 4 now. These two teams all tied after 1. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Colts in possession. 3rd and 4. As they've got it as we resume action. They'll set up a throw. He'll try and do this himself. And avoids the contact by sliding. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
They go play action here on 1st down. They'll get that complete to Harrison. Wasn't a ton of space, but a great move. He's able to work it to the 20-yard line. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
2nd and 4. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Harrison. So the completion good for just 3. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And the throw there going to be incomplete. 4th down now as San Fran's defense was strong in coverage.
What an excellent defensive stand there.